Perfect. Welcome everybody to another D&D session for the Dungeon Delvers Guild. I will be your DM tonight. My name's Mackenzie, and I'm super happy to be back behind the screen. So we've got a couple fun things going here. First and foremost, Happy Turkey Day to everybody who follows the tradition. To do a mic check, which I would love to do. Our first player, Alex, why don't you tell me something you're thankful for?
I am thankful for having a job that I get to go to pay my bills and be okay.
Yay, job! Awesome. Adrian, how about you? What are
I
you
am
thankful
I am super thankful for this group because I have people to game with now, and I appreciate you all so much.
for? You stole mine. I will say, well, I am actually thankful for my little brother who got safely back from Budapest, Hungary, and is now back here in the States and is currently living with me. And I would say I'm very thankful for that because I got to spend Thanksgiving with him with his first one back here in the States. So, Lauren, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for all these awesome friends that have truly helped me out. We've been one. Always.
Perfect. And lastly, Katie, what are you thankful for?
I really want to go funny and say my pulse because it reminds me that I'm alive.
Well, we appreciate you being alive.
I mean,
call
I
that
will
important.
also be the healer for the evening, so I'll make sure to keep all your pulses up.
Yay! Yay for pulses.
We will appreciate that for sure.
Great. All right. Well, thank you everybody for participating in that and for the mic check. I think we are good to go. I will just say last but not least, we are thankful for anybody who watches this. We love being able to play, being able to record, being able to just kind of show people the world of D&D from a kind of goofy standpoint. So thank you everybody who watches this now and into the future. We appreciate you. Now let's get into the Dungeon Delvers Guild. So as you all arrive in the Dungeon Delvers Guild, you check your mail, as we all do, because the mail system is now fully functioning in Bearton City. And you each find a letter in your mailbox from one Delric Nightbreeze, who is inviting you to his home for a Thanksgiving meal because he appreciates all you do within the Dungeon Delvers Guild, and some of you have worked exclusively with him before, and he appreciates all that you've done for that, or he's just really come to admire your talent and wants to appreciate you, along with some of his fellow friends that he has invited to dinner who you don't previously know. But as you each take up your letter, you find an invitation to visit him. So let's talk to the first invitee, Elizabet. Tell us about yourself.
Hello, my name is Elizabet Glynnan. I am a proud dragonborn life cleric. Please don't mind my skin condition, I'm very subconscious about it. I was very surprised to see a letter from Mr. Delric because I work so closely with the bard. I thought he would avoid me like I tried to avoid the plague. But I will not turn down a good time. I just have quite a few questions when I finally see him.
Well, you will get the chance to meet Mr. Delric himself. The second person that would be checking his their mailbox would be Mr. Felix. Tell us about yourself.
Why, hello there. My name is the fantastic Felix Falconious. I'm a tiefling, one of a
Mr.
pair
Felix,
of twins.
you're muted.
Well, that's most unfortunate. It happens from time to time. But my name is I'm the fantastic Felix Falconious. I'm one of a pair of tiefling twins, and I'm a monk now. As kind of what I'm more wearing is more of a monk's attire, so I'm wearing kind of brown robes. They kind of cut off at the knee just because I have goat legs from the waist down, basically. And purple skin toned. I've got curved ram horns, which have kind of, not earrings, but rings kind of pierced into the horns, and there's 5 on my left horn and 2 on my right. And I've got gold pupilless eyes. I'm very excited for a dinner party, but I am going dressed more in monk attire than my normal suit and jacket and fancy clothing.
All right. Well, you look very snazzy, so can't deny that. And then we have a shorter one who probably acquired a little bit of help to reach her box, because for some reason some jerk decided to reserve her the highest box when she is not very tall. Miss Tallfellow, tell us about yourself. There you go.
I am Dawn Tallfellow. The name is very much not the description of me. I am 20 inches tall with now golden lock. I was born a sorcerer, and I have devoted myself to Lathander, god of the dawn, and Chance, because I needed one. He helped me out. Did it.
Beautiful. Well, I know Delric's going to be excited to see you. And last but not least, we have a fellow wizard that has caught Delric's attention. Tell us about yourself.
I am playing Glynnan. He's a high elf divination wizard. Spends most of his time trying to foretell not only his future but that of his friends. And when he's not doing that, he's spending most of his time summoning creatures from the Feywild, including his little green-faced spider Theodore, who is on my head, as you can see in my token. The only thing he's really ever heard about Delric is he's got some shop and he sells potions and lotions, and I don't know. He's not a fan of lotions unless they can give him some use. And I have this really super fancy glamour weave cloak that I can change into different things. It's the fanciest thing I have.
It's so fancy. Oh, so fancy indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's great. Being that you all are at the Dungeon Delvers Guild, you all kind of have the same sigil written on the inside, on the outside of your envelopes, and a cart pulls up out front. It's shockingly nice. The exterior is done in beautiful royal blues and royal purples. The driver seems very elegant and poised as they step off. They go inside. They gather the 4 of you and bring you out to the cart and offer you to step inside. And as you step inside, the cart itself inside is actually a lot larger than how it looks on the outside. Inside, you find there are couches to lounge on. There are chairs. There's a bookshelf against the far wall with a bunch of books. There's a fireplace that's lit, giving the interior kind of a warm, comforting atmosphere, glow. It's very nice. It's very peaceful. Probably not something any of you would actually expect from Delric, knowing who he is. But he has sent this cart to pick you guys up to bring you to his home. So as you all get inside, you take your respective spots and are then taken to Delric's home outside of Oxen. So when you arrive at his home, you are brought inside, and the first place that you enter is a giant dining hall. So we'll move you to here. In the dining hall, you see there are 2 people in there. One of them is a young man, young human, maybe in his late 20s, possibly early 30s. A little bit further down the way at the table is an old gnome, and then there's a room off to the left where the door is wide open, and just kind of peeking around in there, you can see a drow sitting on a chair, and to the far corner, a high elf perusing some books. And the young human will jump and kind of bound his way towards everybody and say, hello, are you here for the party too?
Yes, Yes, we are.
I guess we are.
Yes, we all received an invitation. Did you receive an invitation, or do you work here? And you kind of look around at
Both.
the surrounding.
He says with way too much excitement in his voice. It's like, both. I work for Mr. Nightbreeze, and I was also invited to the party because I am that much of level of importance, and I can't believe it.
I must not know Mr. Delric very well. I thought his last name was Nightingale.
He goes by both.
That is very confusing.
Yeah, he's a very confusing man. That's why he works at potions and lotions.
I've stopped
Ah,
there
yes,
before.
I've heard the potions and lotions. They sell lotions and potions.
Both of which are distinctively different, other than
Yes.
Nightbreeze and Nightingale. One's a bird and one's a nice, cool evening breeze that you have when having a jaunt. Whereas, yes, so, okay.
Yes, well,
Do you have
both was-
Do you have an itinerary for the evening? Are we supposed to be seated, or shall we linger and mingle? And he kind of looks in the room, the library, over here, and sees if he can see anybody else in there, or just those two figures.
it looks like those are the only two people that you can see in there at the moment. And Diz kind of perks up and he's like, "Oh yes, they are putting together the food as we speak, and it's just been informed to me that I should tell all the guests that they are welcome to mingle and talk amongst themselves until dinner is ready and Mr. Nightbreeze has returned.
Got it.
So feel free to mingle either with each other or with any of the NPCs that you see."
Is there music playing in this room anywhere? Or is it just kind of like a quiet waiting area with people kind of just hanging out?
There's music. It just kind of seems like it's fluttering about.
Dawn's gonna step in front of all of y'all, kind of try to get y'all's attention, but again, she's 20 inches tall. I'm like, hey, my name's Dawn. Hi.
Hello, little Miss Tallfellow. How are you doing today?
Hey.
We did not get a chance to talk in the carriage. I honestly almost did not see you because you're so tiny. I mean no offense. My eyes are not as good as they used to be. And she adjusts her glasses.
True, she does have pretty bad eyesight, and I also adjust my glasses.
Felix is gonna drop into.
I don't need the gallery of peanuts from you, Mr. Glynnan.
If you have enough peanuts, you can make peanut butter. You know.
Felix is gonna drop down into a crouch, so he's as low or close to eye level with her as he can, and he's just gonna offer out a hand and say, "The pleasure is all mine. I'm Felix. You might have heard of me, maybe, possibly."
Oh, yes, Miss Tallfellow. We have seen Mr. Felix before. He had his butt handed to him by Mr. Imber in the arena battle once. He took it down with 2 arrows. Do you remember that?
She's going to grab your finger, but try to get like 2 fingers in there and like squeeze really hard and then shake vigorously.
Oh, she's a very enthusiastic
Yeah.
one, just so you know.
He will shake her hand and then try to excuse himself and start. I'll be over here, and he's gonna walk up towards this way.
Nice to meet you, Dawn. I'm Glynnan.
Hello, Glynnan.
You may have also seen Glynnan in the arena battle. He does not go down so fast because he pulls up a magical shield whenever things try to hit him. It usually works.
Usually, and Dawn walks slowly away with a smirk on her face.
Thanks for that.
You.
You're welcome.
Elizabeth is just in the corner like, I am gonna rat everyone out.
She is
It's alright.
old and senile.
Do not mind Miss Dawn. She's very excited to be here, at least from what I can see with my old eyes. If you know what I mean.
I do. Do you want to, how do you feel about doing some investigation, but doing it in a very casual way, where no one would suspect anything? And as I say this, Glynnan will like bow but stick out his hand, like asking her to dance.
Elizabet looks at you. Just so we're clear, you guys, she's wearing golden glasses, a golden veil, has a golden mace cane, has golden chainmail on. By the way, her favorite color is silver, but that's neither here nor there. And looks at Glynnan and goes, "Are you proposing that we dance or that we snoop around?"
Why not both?
You are a very strange one, Mr. Glynnan.
Well, if you don't wish to dance, I'll just go to the books.
I would not mind dancing, but I will not be caught snooping.
We'll
They
just
would
keep
hear
it
me
happy.
from a mile away with my
Well, then.
techniques. You see this? It makes lots of noise.
It's true. It's true. Let's just dance then. How about that?
Can I just
Alright.
note something real quick? I have a passive perception of 21.
Oh, so you heard what Elizabet knows.
She keeps walking.
Yeah, Felix is going to exit into the, I don't know if this would be called the lounge or a library, but he will give a kind of flamboyant wave as he starts approaching down towards the drow, and he'll be like, "Hello, is there room in here for another person to, I guess, wait, are you all waiting for dinner?"
The drow will look up, and she's very elegant in the way that she holds herself, but you notice she has two short swords on her side, and she is, despite the fact that she looks like she's most likely dressed for a dinner party, there is a hint of armor underneath her dress that she's chosen to wear tonight, and she's got a glass of wine in one hand, and she kind of waves it with the other, and she goes, "Hi, yeah, I'm waiting for Delric. I don't quite know where he's at, but yeah, I'm waiting for Delric and dinner to start. Were you invited as well?"
I was indeed, and he's gonna sit down onto the couch and cross his legs and just kind of lean back. Yeah, I'm just waiting for dinner. I don't know any of the other guests, so forgive me if I introduce myself, but I'm the fantastic Felix Falconious, A+ monk, I might add, former detective.
She kind of laughs a little bit, and then pauses, and then kind of gives like her brow kind of flares as if she's in thought, and then she looks at him and she goes, "Did you say Falconious?"
He kind of pauses, and can I roll an insight check on why she's asking, like, what kind of, like, direction she's asking that for?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, nice roll.
16.
The look that passes over her face just very, very briefly says that she might actually know who you are.
Okay. He's going to assume that's a good thing and not a bad thing, and he's like, "Well, yes, of course."
She's like, yes, I've heard of you. I've heard of you. Very gifted, a very talented monk for everything that you've done, but you haven't been seen in quite a while. Are you okay, or have you just been gallivanting from party to party? And she kind of like says that with like a gesture towards the semi bare study entertaining area that you two are lounging in.
"Oh, yes, I've never been better, and that's truer than you would think, actually." And he thinks back to his last dinner party at the Red Manor, and suddenly starts hoping that this is not going to end the same way.
She kind of narrows her eyes and tilts her head, and she goes, are you okay? You look perplexed."
Yes. Lost in meditative thoughts, you might say.
I've never really been one for the ways of the monk, but I suppose I can understand to some degree. She kind of gives like a little giggle, like she's trying to relate, but she's obviously not doing well, and she's firmly aware of that as she kind of gestures towards the bottle that's on on the table that's open, and there's a couple glasses of wine on the table, and she goes, "Help yourself. Delric's got a great collection."
Felix will lean forwards and just start pouring himself a glass, and he will help himself.
Alrighty, let's pause that there. Dawn, where are you going?
She's basically almost underneath the globe, and she's like moving it a little bit underneath. So like, if he happened to look over, he just sees the ball like moving. But she's trying to find her hometown on the map, and she's having a hard.
Okay. Oh my gosh, that's so silly. Right, Glynnan and Elizabet, what are you two doing? Do you guys start to casually waltz around the room?
Probably eventually gonna end up over in like this fire pit area.
Elizabet follows along, giddy that someone is dancing with her, and who knows how long?
Okay.
Mr. Glynnan, I have not danced in so long.
Well, next time, maybe we can dance while flying. That could be equally fun. But yes, you are quite the dancer.
With you on your room? Well,
Yes.
thank you. You love to flatter, don't you?
I have my moments.
By
But
moment, do you mean every word you say?
Glynn is kind of lost for words for a moment.
Well, that's okay, because you hear from the corner, "Ah, young love," as
What?
the old gnome at the table speaks up for the first time.
I do one of those things where you're like in a moment, but somebody says something and it like snaps you to reality. It's like, no. Just kind of like patting myself back up. We're just dancing. There's nothing wrong with dancing at a party. That's what music and the atmosphere is for.
Oh, little one, you're so young and you don't understand. But it's fine, it's fine. Love is beautiful, love is precious. Never be ashamed.
Who are you, my good man?
Well, I'm a lady, but
Oh,
people
lady.
make that mistake all the time.
Same with me, so I apologize dearly.
It's okay, young lady, I understand. My name is Mrs. Albert.
Mrs. Albert, like an owlbear?
Yes, but just for clarification, I did not marry an Albert. My husband's last name was Albert.
Okay.
People are weird. I have learned to clarify over the years.
Oh yes, I understand that, Miss Owlbear. Tell me, how do you know Mr. Delric?
Mr. Delric is my godson.
Oh, that sounds so sweet.
He's been a good boy so far. His lotions and potions place seem to have really taken off, and I'm very proud of him.
That's good. Having strong family ties is always a good thing.
Yes, he has very few he can call family nowadays, but I will never stop being there for him.
Mrs. Owlbear, if I may, do you also know the bard?
Yes, I do. That is a good person, that bard. But the bard and young Delric really don't get along. Well, Delric doesn't get along with the bard. The bard seems to have no issue with Delric. It's a strange relationship.
The bard does not have issue with very many things. It takes quite a lot to push him over the edge.
Yes, and it takes very little to push Delric over his edge.
What a pair they must make. And I must thank you for the compliment earlier. I'm actually very old. I'm 26. It's nice to hear that someone thinks I look young.
Well, love will do that, dearie.
So how long have you been waiting here for Delric?
It's been about... She'll look down at Diz and say, young man, how long has it been? I don't recall. And Diz will kind of pipe up and say, oh, it's been about an hour since we've seen Delric, but he said he had something he needed to accomplish in the study and then kind of shut himself in for a little while, so he'll probably be out sooner or later.
I see.
Yes, so we're going to pause there and we'll go back to Felix. What you doing?
Felix is helping himself to a glass of wine and trying to strike up, hopefully not awkward conversation with the drow, and he's going to ask her like what she's reading, try to see if it's something magic or just literature, and just try to see who this person is a little bit.
Yeah. She'll look down at the book that's in her lap and kind of laugh and close it and actually stretch it out for you to see, and she'll go, well, actually, there is Delric has always had quite a collection in his library, and during the few times that he and I have been together, I've always found myself perusing it. This is actually a story of the Dread Pirate Roberts, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's such a classic. Have you ever read it?
I can't say that I have. May I see it? And he
Yes,
will
of course.
reach over and take it and just kind of look at it a little to the side and just kind of scan the cover and then the back. And is this fiction, or is there actually a Captain Roberts?
I suppose nothing's always fiction, but mainly fiction. Everything's based on a little bit of fact, right?
Fascinating. I will pass the book back to her.
Yeah.
Trying to kind of feign interest a little bit more, because it's not much of a reader.
Yeah. She'll keep the book closed and place it down on the table and kind of lean back in her seat a little bit and kind of swish the wine in her drink and go, so may I ask, Felix, you said you're a monk, but do you do anything in particular for a living?
Well, my family's gotten me involved with the Dungeon Delvers Guild. And he kind of pauses like it's a name drop or something. And then he'll ask, I forgive me, I think I must have missed your name. It was Miss...
Oh, my name is Kira. My apologies. I get so drawn into conversations with people that I tend to forget to properly introduce myself. My name is Kira.
Kira, pleasure to meet you. I'm going to look around for any of my compatriots, but since they are not in the room, and except for Dawn, who I'm not sure if you can see Dawn behind that chair.
That's a great point. Let's pause here. Dawn, what are you doing?
She tried to get another vantage point, so she's slowly moving to the side, and you can tell that the globe's moving, and she's debating whether or not to say hi.
So the high elf that's kind of perusing the books, he's very tall and lanky, and he's kind of running his fingers along the spines of the books, kind of almost memorizing each title, and then he hears the movement of the globe and turns around and kind of stares at it for a moment until he sees you crawl out from underneath it, and will let out a hefty sigh and kind of step over and say, do you need help? You look, I can't really tell if you're lost or if you're confused, but it looks like you need some help.
She looks up at him, complete, all the way up, just, straight up. Just, and shoves her hand up and just says, hey, my name's Dawn.
He looks a little surprised before kind of offering you a polite smile, and takes your hand and gives it a shake and says, pleasure to meet you, Dawn. I'm Pathos.
Oh, hello, Pathos. Were you invited as well? Were you a guest?
I am. Delric and I go very far back. Back to our childhood, actually.
Ooh, do tell me more.
Well, if you've ever met Delric, then you probably understand that he can be a bit abrasive, arrogant, cocky, self-centered. One would wager stupid, but he's actually, yeah, he's stupid. He's got a good heart, but just sometimes not as strong of a mind, I guess you could say. But all in all, he's a good guy.
Everybody has many sides, and I see you've met some of those sides as well.
Yes, when you've been friends or acquaintances, depending on how you'd want to look at it, for as long as we have, you kind of get to know multiple sides.
Is that for a good or bad thing?
Depends on what side you meet.
Well, I'm glad I'm gonna get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure to get to know you too. I'm assuming that he invited you here as well?
Yes, Don Tallfellow. Don't laugh at the name. Don't laugh at. She's whispering this. She's like, don't laugh at the name. Don't laugh at the name.
Ah. It's pretty much the only response you get from the high elf. It's just a very simple like, and just leaving it at that.
And she like visibly just like slightly just sighs.
Ah, well, how do you know Delric?
Potions and lotions. We got to talk a couple times. Yeah, and she's kind of having a red face when she says.
He will squat down to your level and like pull his glasses like down to the bridge of his nose and just kind of stare at you for a second and say, "Miss, are you okay?"
No, but that's besides the point. And she turns around, starts walking.
Pathos kind of stands up and shrugs a little bit, and he will actually follow you towards the dining hall. So what's going on over at the fireplace?
Well, Mr. Glynnan, you would make a very handsome peacock.
Well, I can honestly say I've never called a peacock before. I've ever called, well, versions of the word by not so savory characters, but we won't get into that here. Shall we have some wine and take a seat and wait for the evening to begin, or do you want to continue to sit here in front of the fire? What do you think?
Well, I am mostly indifferent. She's kind of looking at Glynnan, but kind of looking past him. The comment from Miss Owlbear kind of has her a bit, whatever you think is best.
Do we see Pathos coming in, or anybody else coming in from the other room?
You would probably see Pathos come in, yeah.
Okay. I will look over to the human male that we're talking to a second. Do we know how much longer we're gonna have to wait before dinner begins?
Diz kind of perks up at somebody talking to him, and he was super excited. And he goes, "Oh, I'll go check on Mr. Delric. You bring up a very valid point." And he will hurry off towards what is the study.
Okay. Well, I say, Elizabeth, we should have seats, have some wine, and then just wait for dinner to begin, or wait for the rest of our group to join us. I will go and get us some drinks. I'm gonna walk over to wherever I can get those from, because I don't know where that would be on the map.
All right, Mr. Peacock.
I'll say that there's definitely drinks on the table, and Mrs. Albert has not been drinking, mind you. She only has water in front of her, so her comment is not based on alcohol. Anyway, down with Felix and Kira. Kira's gonna see Pathos kind of wandering into the dining area and slowly get to her feet and kind of gesture. Shall we adjourn to the dining hall? Looks like everybody's gathering in there. Dinner must be soon to be served.
Sorry, 1 second.
Sure.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, kids came in and I had to do something for them real quick. So since he'd been looking over for where everybody else was and he's seeing the high elf leave, he catches sight of Dawn and he kind of segues into introduction in that direction, and he says, "Yes, I'm here with a couple other members of the Dungeon Delvers Guild." And again, he says it kind of like it's some prestigious appointment or something. And then he says, "This is Dawn, one of our most vibrant, vivacious halflings. Dawn, come join us." And he will scoot over.
Hello. My
And
name's
then-
Dawn. Even though she was already introduced.
Kira will stop from getting up and look over and just smile really brightly at Dawn and say, "Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is Kira."
And she gives her the same handshake she gave Falconious.
Awesome. She go ahead.
With vigorous effort.
Yes, and while you're gripping her hand, you realize that her grip back to you is probably a lot firmer than you would have expected. And why don't you roll me an insight check?
Will do.
Wow, good roll. So in shaking her hand, you've dealt with a lot of people who have worked in different portions of life, especially during your time with your old church that you used to follow. She gives off the impression like somebody your old church would have hired, and almost like something that they tried to train you to be.
Oh.
So Kira will let go of your hand and proceed to stand up and say, "It seems like everyone's adjourning to the dining hall. Shall we join them?"
Go plug it in and close it
she'll
up.
look her in the eye and say, "Once I went down that path, your path, I see good in you." And then start walking.
I'm sorry, what path? Felix looks confused.
Kira just kind of laughs and puts her hands on her hips, and she's like, "Ah, that one's smart. Interesting." And she'll look over at Felix and say, "Oh, she just figured out what I did for work. I'm actually a little surprised that she caught on."
Oh, tell me, what is it you do for work?
Oh, she just kind of shrugs and she's like, "Oh, I'm an assassin," and then starts walking.
Felix will bound to his feet and kind of like hurriedly follow after, intrigued, but also a little wary. Let's see. He will
So in
either-
shades, he flips to the wall.
Oops.
Tell me more, come.
Tell me more. Kick.
He's gonna look at the table and see kind of where everybody looks to be seating themselves. He doesn't really want to sit next to the old gnome, and so he'll probably go to sit on the other side here, and probably will end up trying to sit across from Kira because he wants to talk to her more.
Okay.
And to Miss Owl, very, very, very lovely. No.
Mrs. Owlbear is just... She's near the point of cackling, but she's trying not to. So she's doing like that awkward like giggle snort thing we all do when we're trying not to laugh. Trying not as hard as we can to laugh. That is exactly where Mrs. Owlbear is at this point.
Trying to swallow your laughter because you know the situation that's happening.
Yep. And just completely choking on it. Yeah, that's pretty much where she's at this point.
Mr. Falconious, please come sit closer. Please come sit closer. Oh, no.
After we say this and hold up our glasses to kind of say what we're saying, I want to take a long stare into mine for a couple of seconds, just kind of focusing. And I'm going to use this opportunity to roll my portent dice so that I have them rolled.
Great. Let's see them.
Man,
While he's
2
doing
11s and a
that,
17.
Nice.
John is highly debating whether or not to take the top seat just to see where her eye level is with the table, but she's like debating really hard.
Please, Mr. Falconious, come sit closer. We can toast to you too. It's very good wine. Why are you staying so intently at it, Mr. Peacock?
Pathos is looking from the high elf to the
Dragonborn?
to forth, back and forth, and then looking over to Mrs. Owlbear, who's looking like she's ready to cry, and then looking back down to Kira, and then at Felix, and then at Dawn, and then just down at his empty plate, and just slowly reaches for his wine, and then takes a long gulp of it, like just in one of those gestures we all know of this is gonna be a long night. Like
Elizabet will look in Pathos' direction. Oh, hello! I don't know your name. Or yours. Why don't you all come sit closer? Motioning to Pathos and Kira.
Kira kind of laughs and stretches her long arms between each chair and kind of rests them on the backs of each of them. She goes, I like to stretch out, so it's no offense, but I'm Kira, she says with a wave, and Pathos will kind of look up from his like half down glass of wine, and he just kind of says, my name is Pathos.
Hello, Kira. Hello, Pathos. My name is Elizabet Glynnan.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Felix is going to eye the chair in between him and Elizabet and decide that he will also stay where he's at with the chair between the old bat as he's thinking.
I'm a dragonborn, but I would not say that because that is metagaming. I mean, I guess Felix and Dawn can also see that Glynnan and Elizabeth are just going back and forth. So it's like, good.
Yeah.
John's getting sitting down, like, you can barely see her eyes above the table, but she can see. She's above the table.
So Felix would like to ask Kira without like saying like the word assassin. Like, are you currently working?
She kind of laughs and gives a small shrug. She's like, I've got a job to do, but you know, showing some support to Delric, especially in a time of thanks when he really doesn't have much family, is more important at this time.
Oh, so your job isn't... He points a single finger down and like clicks it onto the wood of the table and says, "It's not here today."
It's like, last I checked, unless somebody wrong walks through the door.
Oh, good. Well, let's toast to a pleasant evening then. And he looks over at everybody else at the table, raising his glass.
Elizabeth will raise her glass.
Raises
John
the
stands
glass,
up in the
So, as everybody raises their glass to Felix's toast, you hear a blood-curdling scream from the other end of the room as Diz opens the door to the private study, and you hear a scream of, "Oh my God, Delric!"
Dawn is as fast as her little legs can carry her is over there. How many rounds does it take, or can she just do it?
We are not in round session, so
I'll say my word real quick, make my broom appear, and just 50 feet per second burst my way over here. Just bam.
Elizabet flies.
Yeah, Felix is gonna just leap over the table because I'm pretty sure his standing jump is like long enough to just clear it completely.
Yeah,
and then
easy.
he's got 45 movement speed, so he's right behind the broom.
What's
That
wrong?
So Diz has flung open the doors into this small little office that seems to be tucked behind what is sort of a library study area that a few of you have been hanging out inside for a little while. And across the desk is the body of Delric.
What?
Yeah, as everyone moves quickly through there, you find Diz standing near a large wooden desk with a pile of scrolls and artifacts on it. Seated with his body slumped over the desk is Delric. Diz turns to all of you and screams, "He's dead! Like, for real dead, I think!"
No, Dawn grabs Delric's head. How long has it been? Or
Roll me a medicine check, please.
May Elizabet roll one as well?
Yes.
because guess what? I have ready.
While this is happening, if he can kind of see if people are getting there before him, can Felix actually close this door? He like backtracks and closes it, if
Yeah.
possible. Okay, I would like to do that.
Oh,
Well, nice.
I do something stupid. Can you?
6 and a 20. Those are some good medicine rolls.
Uh-huh.
One of them was good.
Door moved. Look at me, I'm so fancy. So judging by Dawn, he's dead. That is the extent of your knowledge at this point. However, as Elizabeth comes in and starts looking at him, she does notice that something is amiss. And as Dawn pulls his body up from being slumped over the desk and like kind of falling back into the chair, there is more than just life missing from Delric. Something else is missing that is more intense. The body has not been dead for very long, but with that medicine check, you can tell the soul's gone too.
Aha.
Can
Miss
I...
Dawn, take a step back, please.
I can
Glynnan-
revive him. Hasn't been
Glyn-
that long.
Glynnan, please help.
Okay.
It has been long enough. Miss Dawn, I understand. But you need to get out of the way.
Someone's going to have to move her because this is one of her worst nightmares come true.
Can I check real quick as this is happening in the room for any arcanic symbols or any type of magic that might be omnipresent throughout the room where he is?
Sure. Are you doing this? Do you want to do this with just an Arcana check, or are you using Detect Magic?
I will do it as a Arcana check because I
Okay.
only have Detect Magic as a ritual, and I don't have 10 minutes plus in action right now. So,
You're like, can't do 10 minutes. Need about 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay.
all right,
Roll me an Arcana check then.
23.
Beautiful roll. So you're reaching out your senses as a wizard and your full knowledge of the arcane, and trying to feel what's going on, and your attention actually gets led to Delric's desk. And there are two items that really stand out to you on the desk. One is a gem. It is a red gem with kind of a purple center to it that was sitting right where Dawn had pulled Delric off from the table. And the other thing that's on the table that would catch your Arcana attention is a small little bird figurine. And you would know this because of your background. It's actually a recording device for kind of making logs or journals.
Alright, so there's a recording device there, and then there's a magic crystal. What else can I help with right now?
Elizabet is going to look at the servant next to Glynnan. What did you say your name was again?
My name is Diz.
Diz, darling, could you do me a favor? I promise I will pay back. Do you know if Delric has any diamonds nearby? Or anywhere in the house?
Dawn has a diamond with her where's the revive spell. She always keeps it on her.
Worth the 300?
Yes. She's like, why she has the revive spell with her all the time.
Would they?
If it's been less than a minute, she would immediately try to cast Revivify.
Has it been more than a minute, DM?
It
looks like it has been.
With the medicine check that you rolled, you would definitely know it's been at least an hour, if not longer.
Miss Dawn, I cast this kind of magic as well. Unfortunately, it has been far past a minute. It has been closer to an hour. Unless we look around the room, would she have heard what Glynnan said about what was on the desk?
Yeah. Well, I assume he said that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I'm just checking.
Yeah.
With her more focused on Delric, but her passive perception of 21, does she get anything? Any spike?
From the back, Felix also wants to look primarily at the three guests here in the back.
Okay.
Just to try to gauge their reactions and stuff. Because it's kind of his previous detective type background is making him want to figure out what's like who's who in this scenario.
All right. So I would like to pause the group at the top up there, and go down to Felix since you brought that up. Felix, is there anything in particular that you would like to do?
Well, he wants to close the door so people can't just like leave, and then he's wanting to see if just first their body language, if anybody is like surprised by this genuinely, or if there's anybody trying to like fake it.
Okay. Why don't you roll me an insight check on each person? So tell me who you're looking at, and then give me an insight check.
Okay, I'll just go left to right.
Okay. So Mrs. Owlbear first.
Oops,
Mrs.
sorry.
Owlbear looks genuinely shocked, and as more information is fed to her, she's starting to look more and more woozy. Kira looks genuinely surprised. As a matter of fact, the shock on her face seems more expressive than you would expect from somebody in her profession.
Okay. I will attribute that to their relationship. And then the elf.
Pathos looks shocked as well. There seems to be kind of a genuine air of surprise from the three of them. It's the one you're sure isn't faking it is Miss Owlbear, because as you watch her, she faints in the chair.
I will kind of motion towards the people in the front, like, doctor? And point at her.
No, me, that's not me.
Yeah. Dawn been in the way. She needs to take a rest.
Yeah, you don't need to roll a medicine check for this. She has just fainted because of all the stress and hearing her godson is dead. So,
Oh.
to say the least, she is out like a light in this chair.
Props her up more comfortably in the.
Thank you, Don. I'm trying to make sense of the situation. You said you found a red gem and a recording device.
Put that over there on the table.
Why don't you go and pick them up and investigate further? You have more knowledge of the arcane than the rest of us, I'm willing to bet.
Yeah, that's probably true. Alright, give me a minute. I'll go over to these and I will start to check them out a little bit more, see if I recognize the gem for any of its magical properties, or if I can turn the message bird on, anything like that.
Okay. Which one are you going to first?
Let's do the message bird, because that might just give us information about what's in the gem or what he was doing prior to this happening. Maybe it's a last will and testament, or maybe it's like how people typically, at least as a wizard, how I write down my magical research notes in a book. Maybe he's doing it verbally, some type of like recording device, and this will just be an easier way to figure out what he was actually doing.
Okay. So you reach out to touch the bird, and the tiny little bird suddenly springs to life, and it starts flapping its little copper wings and starts bouncing around on the table, and you hear little words coming out of its mouth, and it says password, 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 password.
Maybe the password is on his desk.
Maybe. Can I look around and see if there's anything that's similar to a password?
Sure.
Elizabet will look at the bird real quick, and she thinks she has an idea. I'm not sure if it's gonna work, but she just says, "The bird sucks."
The bird pauses, and it stops. It pauses, saying password over and over again, stops, and then flutters over to Gillian, jumps on your finger, like flies up to your finger, and its beak opens, and from inside, without the beak moving, it says record or playback.
I did not think that would
genuinely
actually
stunned.
work.
Okay. Play back.
So you hear a rewind noise, much like we all remember from tapes being rewound, and the little beak opens up, and Delric's voice starts to fill the study, and it says, "Dear Diary, today I filled out the rest of the forms that I needed to do for the Dungeon Delvers Guild and finally mailed them back to Taco. I'm so sick of doing all this paperwork. Hold on, what's this? Oh, look, Bird. A package came from Roger. What a surprise." You hear some paper rustling. He says, "Oh, this is fascinating. This is a..." And then it's just followed by just an ear-piercing scream before a thud, and the recording cuts off.
Was that the same scream as we heard in here? Just like,
No.
okay.
The scream you heard was from Diz. This
Okay,
scream's
sorry.
different.
What did you say your name was again, young man?
Oh, my name is Diz.
Diz, where were you an hour ago?
I didn't think you would actually ask him this question, so this isn't him pausing, it's me. Sorry. Well, I have actually been working out in the garden. I am his assistant. You know, I have the very important duties that I need to do. I scrub the chamber pot. I press his clothes. I help him organize all of his files. I've been doing a lot of paperwork for the Dungeon Delvers Guild, which is really weird. But all he has to do is sign them, so at least that's all done. I tend the garden. I sweep. I mop. I do all the stuff that an apprentice is supposed to do.
May I roll insight?
Go ahead. He is genuinely telling the truth. And if you know Girth, you realize that this kid isn't being treated like an apprentice, but he thinks he is.
She looks at. She adjusts her glasses. Yes, so let's know who Roger is too. Forgive me for asking. I'm just trying to cover my bases.
Did you ask a question prior to saying that you were trying to cover your bases? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, who Roger was.
Oh, you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
Does that?
Yeah, I asked that out loud, and then Elizabeth just repeated, I'd also like to know who Roger is as well.
Oh.
Does the soul count as an object?
No. I don't believe so. Diz will kind of scratch his head for a second thinking about the question and go, you know, he doesn't talk about his past very much, but he used to have a friend named Roger, but that's, you know, really all I knew. Doesn't say anything much about him.
It's a stretch, but can Elizabet roll history to see if the bard mentioned her Roger, or is this just a Delric thing?
This would be more of a Delric thing, because Delric and the bard met during the adventuring times.
Okay, just checking.
Can I motion for Kira to join me over here by the books?
Sure. Follow you.
And then kind of in a relatively hushed whisper, he's going to just ask, do you know anything about what's going on? Were you here to help him? Wasn't a job, was he? What do you think is going on?
Kira looks like she's about ready to cry. And she goes, I have no idea. I have known Delric for a long time. We dated in the past, but, you know, even though we weren't together anymore, we were still really good friends, and I didn't want him to be alone today, and I just... No, I have no idea, but if I ever figure out who did this to him, I will kill them myself.
I would like to insight her again if possible.
Sure. She's 100% telling the truth.
Do you know who Roger might be? Did you hear the recording?
Roger, he had a friend he knew for a long time. They went to school together. I mean, there's a image. He's got a photo of him and Roger somewhere. He showed it to me once. I don't remember where it would be though, but there's somewhere. She looks like she's trying to help, but she's also looked like she's really trying to maintain her composure.
Yeah, well, now, don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this. We're in the hands of some great healers, and he points at Elizabet and Dawn, and I just kind of gently, like, usher her towards another one of the chairs, either, I guess, this one over here.
Dawn is going to roughly go up to Pathos, and she's going to get a gleam in her eye, like how she used to be, and politely say, "Spill your guts about Roger." Because she remembers that he said that they were really good old friends.
Ooh.
Pathos will look down at Dawn and say, Roger, I mean, we both knew a Roger back when we were kids. You know, a annoying little front of a kid. But, I mean, and he kind of, like, looks over Dawn and peeks past Diz and Elizabeth into the study to see Delric's watch laying against the chair, and he kind of winces and looks back down at Dawn and said, I would never take Roger to do something like this.
did they ever have a falling out? And could I roll intimidation? She is very big.
Intimidation? Sure.
Bastard. Worried.
Wow. Nice roll. Pathos visibly flinches at your response. Actually, he flinches to the point that he actually takes a step back in surprise. And he goes, no, I mean, Delric can be annoying, but who else doesn't think Delric's annoying? And Kira's in the corner kind of like holding her face. She goes, he is kind of annoying, but he didn't deserve this. And Pathos goes, see? He can be annoying, but that does not mean that he deserves that. And he points past everybody to Delric's body.
Glynnan, if I may, the recording mentioned that he got a package. Do you see any sort of packaging that might have been torn up nearby?
Packaging laying around?
Yes, actually there is, and you would see it pretty easily because it was near the bird. The packaging actually looked like it could have contained that very gem that's on the table.
Yeah, it's over there. I think it had this gem in it. I think the gem has some sort of like magical storage device, maybe? I don't know. Without actually taking some time to consult my texts, it would just be a guess from the gut.
Well, let's not touch the gem, but I am curious about the packaging.
Alright, you guys go ahead and look at that. I'm just gonna start setting up this ritual, and I'll try and figure out what this gem does. And I'm gonna start to ritually cast Identify on the gem.
Have you touched the gem? Excuse me.
Mm,
Or are you leaving it there?
let's see.
Do you have to touch the gem to cast Identify? I thought you had to...
I have to touch it throughout the entire casting of a 10-minute spell. I'm not gonna touch it, so no, I'm not gonna set up the
Elizabet
ritual.
will
Not yet.
take this moment to cheer you on and cast Bless.
Okay.
I would like to touch Elizabeth on the shoulder as soon as she's done spellcasting because I don't want to interrupt. But then I was like, do you know what killed him? Was it a spell? I kind of peek over the chairs like, I can investigate him for like stab wounds, but this seems unlikely.
With the
John?
20, do I know? I mean, like, the soul just seemed to leave the body to my knowledge, right?
Yeah. There's no visible, with the medicine check you would have noticed visible wounds, but that's what makes this so stunning, is that there's not.
Mr. Felix, if I may, this is not something we can easily detect. It is as if the soul was just sucked out of the body.
So what Glynnan's doing, that arcane stuff, that should be the best solution. Should we move him? Like, we can... I'm sure he's got the funds to revive himself if we were to take him to the appropriate healer, but...
Here is the problem. If it had been less than a minute, we could just use a diamond. Or diamonds worth a certain amount of money. It has been over an hour. The window has, how you say, closed.
I mean, I'm sure there's more powerful magics, surely.
If there is, I do not have that at my disposal. Mayhaps someone else does, but I do agree, it is a bit cramped in here.
Yes, this...
Maybe you could carry Mr. Delric to the living area, or maybe... What did you say your name was again, young man?
My name is Diz, miss.
Diz, I'm so sorry I keep forgetting. There's a dead body present, but it is fine. I am used to those. It is disappointing, but it could be worse. Is there a place we can go lay Mr. Delric to rest? Well, you know what I mean. A place to lay him down where it is not in a cramped room, but not in front of party guests.
As soon as you say lay him to rest, there are tears flowing down Diz's face.
No. I just meant like a bed. Like a bed. Here,
And he
there
just
is
breaks
Do you
down
want
in
the,
front of you.
Glennon's
do
gonna
you want
say
the butterscotch?
under his breath while casting this ritually. Can you guys take it outside and be quiet? I cannot focus on what I'm doing.
This,
I
darling.
need focus.
What is he? What are you
Here,
doing?
I'll do it.
I'm ritually casting Identify.
Ritually casting, so you're touching it?
Yeah.
Because if you weren't going to, Dawn, Gary.
This, this.
You can, if you have it and you want to burn the spell slot and do it, you can do it. I just started casting because I didn't know if anybody else had it. So.
Glynnan, did you see my message?
Nope. I got no message.
Oh, strange. It says it's sent to you. Whoops. Let's try this way. Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, I got it.
I can press
I got it.
Identify.
It just took a minute.
Yeah,
Oh.
I can press Identify with it.
So, Elizabeth, you follow Diz to the chair, and he's just... he's got his elbows on his knees, he's got his face in his hands, and he is just bawling. Absolutely bawling.
Elizabeth is going to raise her voice. This, listen to me. She's gonna grab his face with with her talons. Look at me. Breathe. Look around the room. How many corners are in this room? Answer me. Can Elizabeth roll non-lethal damage to whack him over the head with her mace cane?
Sure. Yeah, that hits. Bonk. Oh, now my head hurts too. And he like reaches for it and puts his head between his knees, like they tell you to do, like on flights and stuff when you're feeling sick.
This, listen. I am a healer. I'm here to heal. We'll find a way to take care of Delric, but I need your help. You help Delric out with everything in his house, yes or no?
Yes.
Delric would not want you to sit here and cry, would he? He'd want you to keep yourself strong and take care of things that need to get done.
Yeah, I should probably go finish the garden.
No. Listen to me. I just need to know if there's a place we can go for Delric to lay down, like a bed, not in front of company. I'm sure we'll figure something out. Here, have a butterscotch instead of crying.
Classic grandma move.
You should know better. You can do better. Don't do it for you. Do it for Delric, okay?
And he'll like undo the butterscotch and put it in his mouth.
Okay?
He's still pulling himself together. It's gonna take the kid a bit.
Once you pull yourself together, let me know. You need a minute, it is fine. Crying is part of the grieving process. I would know. I lost someone important to me once, too. Elizabeth starts to mumble and draconic to herself. The point is, you'll get through it. And we will do everything we can to help Mr. Nightingale, alright?
Is it okay?
I'll come back and check on you in a minute.
It's okay.
Okay, go charge it. Listen here, do this to mommy.
Hello, Mr. Felix. I see you have Delric. Glynnan, how is it going in here?
There is no response, as Glynnan seems very, very focused on what he's doing.
I forget. Please forgive me. I should know better than to interrupt magic. I should know better.
Dawn,
Elizabeth's mumbling to herself.
Miss Dawn.
Is she still in the middle of casting Identify?
Is Glynnan doing that, or are you doing that? If Glynnan is, you don't have to.
Yeah.
We only need one person casting it.
Okay, then. Yes?
You're more in tune with the magical arts, yes?
Yeah.
Is he actually like dead, or is this like soul just stolen away? And once the soul's returned, he'll be alive again, or is he dead, and his soul is gone?
Would I do an Arcana check for that?
Yeah, go ahead and give me Arcana. Yeah, Arcana would make sense.
25.
Yeah, so knowing this, you would know that his... Oh, I'm sorry, my brain just got a little frazzled. What was the information that you were trying to figure out? I was like on my way and then I lost it.
If we got his soul back, would he come back alive, or is he dead, and his soul's missing?
So with that roll, you would know that you do have a certain amount of time to reattach the soul to the body without losing the ability. So as long as you can keep the body warm and somewhat stable, then you'll be fine. So you can either focus on keeping it warm, or if you have gentle repose, that would keep the body fresh.
Yeah, I think Felix would like start snapping his fingers and be like, "There's a spell for that. It's gentle something."
It will cast Gentle Repose. Let me just pull it up on my sheet.
I will then look curiously back at Glynnan, waiting for him to finish. With any luck, that gem he's holding has Mr. Delric's soul, and we can do something to put it back in him, and then you can cast your spell, Dawn, the one that takes 1 minute, because theoretically, now I'm no magician, mage, or anything, but if we put his soul back in his body, that might start the 1 minute timer, and then you can cast your spell. Maybe. And I look over at like Elizabet for like confirmation.
She's going to look into Felix's eyes and just say, "We can't lose him." But she's going to say it in a way, and the look in her eye as in, she cannot lose him.
We shan't, because we have you both here, and you know how to deal with this type of stuff. Leave the investigation to Glynnan and I. And then I will stand over and look like I'm trying to help Glynnan, but in fact I'm just standing waiting.
So it just looks like Delric. And if no one's going to, all right. She puts 2 copper pieces over each of his eyes, and then like does Salt Bay over him. No one touch Delric until we figure this out.
I want to look back, actually, and make sure that our 4 other guests, or suspects, or whatever, are not leaving the room.
Yeah, so they all 4 of them have kind of found their way to chairs respectively. Kira's stifling tears. Pathos is just staring at the floor with his head in his hands, looking just mortified. And Diz still has his head between his legs, still trying to console himself. But every now and then you hear a slush, slush, slush in his mouth from the butterscotch going back and forth as he sucks on it.
Glynnan, are you doing okay?
As I'm doing this ritual and continuously muttering different words in a host of different languages, trying to identify and break through to figure out what this item is, I hear you say this. I'm just like, yeah, I'm almost there. I just need a couple more minutes, and I think I can figure out what we need to do.
She mainly asked that question so she knew you were alive as well.
Oh, yes. You see my my little green face spider Theodore is like furiously nodding up and down, like yes, he's okay, yes.
This, darling, how are you feeling?
My spider, who at this point, because it's absolutely hilarious, I imagine he's wearing a little like top part of a tuxedo and it's a little bow tie, and he's just nodding up and down. So I just think it's funny. So Theodore has a tux.
Dressed for the occasion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. As I hear all these voices, kind of chanting to me to try and bring. I keep shaking my head so I don't lose my focus on this ritual spell, because it's not a thing that we have another bunch of minutes that I can waste to keep casting this over and over again. I'm going to. You all of a sudden just see Theodore take off from my shoulder and run out into the room. He climbs down my back, runs past Felix, and just starts running up to each and every single person in the room.
Okay, who is he going to first?
He's going to go to this guy.
Okay, what is he doing?
He is just going to, because I'm using my senses to focus on my spell. I can't necessarily communicate because that would take too much of my casting focus away. He's just going to climb up onto his head and just sit on his head.
Okay.
Just kind of like a dog who's found something in the ground and he's just sitting there.
Okay.
And he's not invisible or anything, so anybody who can see a spider sees him run and sit on top of its head.
Anyone say anything about a spider showing up on Dis's head? Or crawling up on Dis's head?
Elizabet knows Theodore, so she's fine with it. And Diz is probably still... Is Diz still crying?
Diz is still crying, but it seems like the butterscotch is getting smaller and smaller because the noise isn't as loud.
Elizabet will look at Felix. Mr. Felix, don't touch the body. If it moves, I have to cast this spell again. It will keep him alive till we figure the situation... Well, not alive, but not dead.
Yes, sort of that sort of dead. Yeah, I got it. Don't worry. I won't let anyone touch it.
Thank you. Diz, do you need another butterscotch, or are you doing better? Elizabet will... While he's like killed over crying, Elizabet has enough, I feel, insight to know that people are usually afraid of spiders. Looks at Theodore and puts a finger to her mouth as if she's saying, shh.
And nods up and down in his little cute tux.
Aww.
Elizabet will place a butterscotch like on top of his knee. It's there if you need it.
Not going to lie, every time you mention your spider, I Lucas Facebook.
It's so great, right?
Here, let me show you a picture of what he looks like, because it might actually look like that. Let me find it here real quick, because I have a cute, hilarious picture of Theodore that I found the other day. Oh crap, get back here. Where's it gone? There we go. You will find this thing to be the most adorable thing in the history of face spiders ever. There you go. That's what he looks like. A cartoony version of Theodore.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Kenneth Lucas.
Must protect at all costs.
At that minute, you see, whoever's in the office with Glynnan or whoever's paying attention, you see, you hear me stop saying words and you hear me snap out of the ritual focus that I had going. And I will pull Don and Felix close in to kind of a whisper so that this isn't being yelled out anywhere. Okay, so I talked to Delric, and he's...
Wait,
Well,
you
he's not
talk
dead.
to him?
I talked to him. He's in the gem.
Oh, I was right.
Felix holds his hands up in the air in celebration.
And I hold
then...
I hold up the gem, and you see this like purple gas inside the gem kind of going back and forth. That's Delric. That's Delric right there. We need to find Roger, and he's probably here. Delric said to find a person who has chocolate in their pocket, and that's who Roger is.
Dawn.
So, Mr. Ethos, was it?
Pathos.
Ah, yes, Mr. Logos. I'm so sorry.
I was waiting for that.
Mr. Mythos?
Pathos.
Oh no, Pathos. Pathos, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Ah, alright. I was just curious. May I look around the rest of the house? Just because I feel like it is important to cover our bases.
I'm not sure how Delric would appreciate people snooping around his house, despite how he looks and acts and talks and holds
Oh,
himself.
no.
He's a private person.
Mr. Ethos, I understand that. I'm just saying, Mr. Logos, that I don't like snooping either. I'm a very private person as well. I'm a very proud Dragonborn woman. The thing is,
What?
if we need to find... Yes, what is it? You seem so surprised when I say that. We need to find any sort of clues. I don't know if anybody in here is suspicious, but I'd rather look around the area without being excessively rude. I'll put everything back that I find. I'm good friends with the bar. That would not cause any trouble. And just see if there's anybody else here. And just make sure the place is mostly safe. I would ask Deez, but he's busy sucking on butterscotch right now. She'll look over at Diz.
Diz is still focused fully on the floor and not crying and sucking on the butterscotch. That is where his full attention is at this point. Pathos will kind of rub his head, now having way more information than he ever thought he would have. His friend being dead, the dinner party being ruined, and now a Aarakocra that says that she's a Dragonborn. Like, this is a lot for one night for this poor guy. And he just kind of stands up and says, you know what, just... Why don't... Diz, can you pull yourself together and take her somewhere to show her the house? Like, come on, kid. You're better than this. Delric would want you to be better than this.
That's what I said. You understand, Mr. Mythos.
How many other letters is she going to put in front of my name? This is... Ugh. And Diz kind of looks up a little bit, and the very first thing he sees is Dawn right in front of him, and he lets out a scream of surprise and kind of jerks back.
The 26 intimidation still on, apparently.
That, and you have Theodore giving you the help action to scare him.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Theodore, can you empty your pockets out, please?
That's a weird request.
At that, can Felix come over and just kind of stand right next to him? Like,
Also, are you talking to the spider wearing a tuxedo or to Diz?
Diz, sorry, I meant Diz.
I just imagine.
Theodore might have pockets. I don't know.
I just imagine Theodore just like goes into his pockets and all you see is just all kinds of spider thread just coming out and it just doesn't stop.
Diz will kind of stare at you for a second and like start patting down his suit, and he's got like a couple pockets on like the chest of his jacket, like from the inside, so he'll like reach inside and like he's got like papers and notes and stuff like that, and just starts slowly emptying out his pockets. Kira is gonna get up from her seat and go to Elizabeth and inquire more about why she wants to look around the house, and then Pathos is gonna approach Glynnan and ask if he learned anything. So let's go with Kira and Elizabeth first. Be like, why do you want to look around the house? I'm confused.
I mean no disrespect. It is just in my mind. Delric has a big house, and if I was a person, which I never would be by the way, I worship the great Bahamut as a proud dragonborn woman after all. And I was a friend of Delric's, I might know places in the house where I could hide. And possibly, how you say, pluck up the other guests who might figure me out.
That's a valid point.
Which is why I wanted to ask Mr. This to help me out, but he started to cry. I do not do best with the phrasing, sometimes it does not translate over from Draconic tongue. But, I mean, it makes sense. I do not want to snoop. I'm not a pretty peacock, mind you. But I do think it requires some sort of investigation to make sense of the area we are in before something sneaks up on us. Better to be pissed. Better to be pissed off. No, pissed on and pissed off. You know what I mean?
No. She says with a very innocent kind of smile, and she's like, no, but I get where you're coming from. However, Delric does keep a huge house. It probably just shouldn't be us. Oh, I know. And she'll kind of call over Felix and kind of give a wave.
So Felix is looks like he's about to pat down Diz. Like he doesn't trust that he did a good enough job of emptying his pockets. But he'll pause when his name is called.
Kira is waving you over.
I will just nod towards Dawn and be like, you handle this guy, and then you'll come around.
I think when it comes to investigation, the best thing we can do is rely on an investigator, and she will point to Felix and then say, this is a very large house, despite how small it looks from the outside, because if you guys were brought here by the carriage, you understand that Delric has an enjoyment of making things that are smaller on the outside, bigger on the inside. So it would be better off if we have 3 people split up, because there is a basement, a ground floor, and a top floor.
Elizabet will look at Felix and just blink. You investigate things?
Yes, I have in the past. Yes.
Ha! You don't seem the type. Well,
Well,
you learn something new every day. Let's go.
Can Dawn cast locate object as she's staring him down?
Sure. And then we'll pause the 3 of you there. Glynnan, Pathos has approached you and asked what you found.
Huh? Well, I found out that Delric's not really dead. His soul's just not in his body.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
I don't know. It seems like some sort of necromancy magic, if you have to ask me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Delric has some books on necromancy on the shelves. I noticed that as I was going through some of the books. It's been a while since I've been here, but his extension has grown. Well, as a fellow wizard, maybe we should take up on this task together. Maybe we can figure something out.
Maybe. Do you know, whenever I'm gonna start delving deep into magical research, like into different schools, when I'm focusing on my divination or when I'm looking to learn new spells, there is something that always kind of helps me focus a little bit more. and I'm wondering, I could probably find some in this house, but do you happen to have any chocolate on you? Because it kind of gives me that boost that I need to get me really focused.
Oh. Oh, yeah. And he'll reach into his pocket and pull out a piece of chocolate and place it in your open hand and say, I got this from Mrs. Owlbear when I got in this morning. And where did you say Delric was?
He was actually in his office. So you go in there. I'm gonna go wash up and go get a couple of my books that I left in the other room. I'll meet you in the office over there in just a couple of minutes. And I nod and say thank you for the chocolate, and I kind of put it in my mouth, and I will walk over to Dawn and just kind of tap her, like with the back of my hand onto her shoulder, and just whisper, "He's Roger. Roger's in the office." And I casually just keep walking down this way.
So you say that out loud?
I whispered it to Dawn, and then I'm gonna come over to
Okay.
you guys and kind of just walk up to you and kind of lean in just a little bit. Roger's in the office, Felix. And then I'll say the same thing to Elizabet. He's in the office. We gotta protect Delric, and we gotta take care of him.
Okay.
Elizabet was not privy to information about
Nope, you were.
any of this. Just what?
So,
Listen,
do we...
Glynnan, you are a very pretty peacock, but you can't just say anything.
Can Felix start basically running towards him? It looks like Dawn is going that way as well, but Felix is just gonna turn and sort of slowly walk there casually, but then he's gonna start running and he's gonna try to jump tackle him.
Okay.
Can Dawn, like, shut the door as he does that? So you're not
Jump into the door.
Yeah, if I can see Dawn doing that, he's going to be running, but
You just can't stop.
You just get some, you're like splat and then fall down. If he's trying to break in and you are actively trying to shut the door on him, I'm gonna need next checks from both of you.
after he's in.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
not less suspicious. I'm helping him, not hindering him.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought you were shutting as he was trying to jump.
I was like, okay, I mean, I cannot do that. It's-
No.
So yeah, so if that's fine, then I would like to kind of speed run and then just try to like tackle him to the ground.
Alrighty. Roll me a. Are you doing this for damage or non?
I'm
yeah,
trying
are you doing-
I'm trying to restrain him basically, so he can't like do anything.
Alrighty, roll me an athletics check, and you'll roll against his acrobatics.
Okay.
I think Bless is still up.
He was not given bless. You only stated that you were giving it to
No, but at the same time, they were within 30 feet of me when I initially cast, and I can only give it to 3 people, so the only 3 of my party are Glynnan, Dawn, and Felix.
Yes, but you can give it to yourself, and traditionally it's whoever you stated. So you did only state Glynnan.
Has it been more than a minute too? Because I think the spell's only a minute long.
It's 10 minutes.
Is it? Why did I think it was a minute? I'm thinking of guidance. That's what I'm thinking of.
So I shall
I'll give it
roll.
to you, but I'll say that it goes away after 2 rounds because it's definitely been longer than 10 minutes, but I'll give it to you for 2 rounds.
Okay, so athletics plus
Got it.
D4.
Yes, so yep.
So 22.
Jesus.
Oh.
Oh.
So yeah, you he's reached down and grabbed the stone, and you push him up against the desk, and you lock his arms. Like you get both arms behind his back, and as he's holding his hand by his back, he drops the stone behind him, and I put it underneath Dawn.
Is this the stone that Glynnan just did the identify on?
Yep.
Okay, then I'm gonna tell Dawn, get the stone!
And she grabs for it. Grabs.
What are you doing? What on earth are you doing?
Stop
Dawn,
resisting.
Feel free to grab the stone. It is touchable by all players, so if you wouldn't mind putting that on your icon, perfect. What are you doing? This is crazy. What are you doing?
Can I cast Mage Armor on myself after I saw the door slam shut?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just in case.
Sorry, just calm down. Don't stop resisting. You're under arrest.
What on earth are you referring to?
We think you did it to Delric.
Oh yeah, they don't have any information about this. All I said was that he's the guy. Oh crap. Okay.
Yeah, in all fairness, you're tackling this guy for no reason. You have no knowledge about this. All you know is that he is Roger. That is all you've been told. You have no clue who Roger is, so you're tackling him because he gave you the wrong name.
Yeah. Felix was never a good investigator.
Or he's the best, depending on how you want to look at it. Yeah, he's bewildered. His face is being pressed up against the floor of the top of the desk, and he's like, what is going on? And at this point, you hear a knock on the other side of the door because Kira has made her way to the door. Felix? Bang, 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 bang. Felix, what is going on?
Miss Kira, would you help me wash Delric's body, please?
I appreciate the offer, but I am a little confused on what's going on, because this is odd.
Yeah, roll persuasion.
Sure. And you better give me a good reason why you're persuading her.
It appears that they're in there investigating something very important that requires their undivided attention. And Delric is laying here on the ground because Diz couldn't help me get to a bed because he's crying. Elizabet was about to go around the room, or around the house, to go find a place to lay him down. But right now he's on the ground with the spell cast on him, and he cannot be moved. Otherwise, he could start to slowly die.
Yeah, which is why you coming over to ask for help to move him does not make sense.
No, I'm asking her to help me watch him because Elizabet's not strong. She can't watch him by herself in case anything weird happens.
Okay. Go ahead, roll me persuasion.
$18?
So her insight is at a 16. She seems really hesitant to do so, so she moves to about here to stay in between where Delric's body is and the door, and she's just watching the door very intensely.
I'm sure Mr. Felix, the investigator, knows what he's doing. Everything will probably be fine if he's as good as you say.
Well, I mean, there's been stories. I assume he's good, as long as the stories match.
Let us put our faith in him and keep an eye on Delric.
So I need to either get into this room or send messages through the walls to them. Alright, I'll go up and knock on the door. Dawn, can you let me in? Or whoever's in there, can you let me in?
Felix will loudly say, "It's okay, we got him."
Slowly cracks the door so he can get in.
As soon as you do that, Kira will push open the door and muscle her way into. What on earth is going on?
I'm gonna need you to stand back. We got him, though. It's okay.
What is going on? What are you doing to Pathos? Felix, this is ridiculous. Let him up.
Kira, I believe it was him. So can you come out to this big room, please?
What do you mean it was him? I'm confused.
I need you to step back a little bit, Kira.
Let's just bring him out to the bigger room so that we don't have to cramp into a small room and we can talk to him out here.
All right, Pathos, I'm going to let you up. We're going to go into the other room, okay?
I don't understand what's going on. What is going on? And he's going to try to resist you. So you're going to need to roll me another grapple check.
Oh.
Methinks Felix is going to let him go.
Yes, Felix is going to let him go. So he breaks out of the grapple, and you see him raise his hand and snap his fingers, and he vanishes.
Counterspell as I see him start to
Can I
snap his fingers
counterspell?
from a magical spell. One of us can, probably.
Yeah, either one. If the distance is there, I can catch it.
I would assume that you could catch it. You're right there.
Alright.
Yeah.
We'll let you cast it then, since you are the closest to him. You're
Yeah,
right there.
one-
If you want to do it that way. Okay, cool.
He flashes and then flashes right back and goes, "Damn it." With that, he is going to, let's see.
With the counter spell, can I intimidate him again and just say, "Sit your ass down"? Or, like,
Tie.
Sorry, the note from Adrian just came across. You can roll intimidation, sure.
so
That's a pretty good roll, but he doesn't quite look like he's taking you too seriously. He's not sitting, per se. But let's see. What is he gonna do? He's gonna kind of hold his hands up and say, "All right, all right, all right." And he will start to walk out to the living room.
I will follow directly behind, keeping my eye on Kira as I'm passing her, too.
What is going on?
I believe that Pathos is actually named Roger, and that he has the device that will help break Delric out of the gem.
Mr. Mythos, you're so cruel. Why would you do this to Mr. Nightingale?
My name is Pathos. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought your name was Roger.
My name is Pathos. I've been telling
So
you
it's
that
not Roger?
since I met you guys. My
So
name,
it's not Roger?
last I checked. I wish somebody would listen to me.
why
Have
you
a
try to
seat!
How else am I supposed to get space in between somebody who just tried to grapple me? And he kind of gives a side eye to Felix, who had stepped to his left. Like, I would rather not stay trapped in a corner. I'm a wizard, for God's sakes. And then he looks over at Gilead like, "You get it."
I mean, I
Be
do.
cornered.
I do, but I can also just not be stuck in the corner. That's fine.
Glynnan,
That's kind of what I was trying to do.
Glynnan, I'm confused. Why do you think that Mr. Logos is Roger?
Oh, because Delric told me.
What did Delric say?
Delric's in the gem.
Wait. She's looking down at his head, but what? What?
Delric's in the gem. Specifically, he told me that Roger always carries chocolate in his pocket, that he has a device that can get him out of this gem, and then he's actually kind of stupid. So,
Aha! Carrying sweets, Mr. Mythos.
does
Where did you get that deceitful chocolate from?
Pathos called him stupid. So wizard
Give me an insight
called
check.
boom.
It's hard to tell. It doesn't look like it bothered him.
Well.
rallies the gnomes.
Felix's attention is definitely still on Pathos, though. And he's trying to have him sit down in the chair, if you can kind of guide him over to the empty chair here.
Here? This one? Or
this one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he moves willingly.
Okay.
And takes a seat in the chair.
He'll stand across from him with his arms crossed and just kind of looking down as Glynnan is verbally informing everybody of the chocolate.
So you had a package delivered for him today? And you went to the
No.
gym? That's not what he told me.
Why would I deliver a package if I was going to be here today? Why wouldn't I just give it to him myself?
Trying to blow suspicion off of yourself. Trying to frame somebody else.
How's Diz doing?
Diz looks really confused, and he's got all of his pockets turned inside out.
Diz, would you come here a moment?
Sure. And Diz will jump up and whoop, stand under Delric, apparently. Delric, stop moving! I'll put you on the map layer, goddammit.
Oh, roll 20.
Can you
troubles.
answer me a question? Diz?
Yes, what's the question?
I'm just now noticing. My eyes are not very good, you see. I'm very old. Is Miss Owlbear alright? Is she prone to faint in episodes like that?
To be perfectly honest, miss, this is the first time I've met Mrs. Owlbear, but it's someone that Delric talks about quite frequently.
Is that so? Does he also talk a lot about Mr. Pathos?
Mr. Pathos, yes. That's not who he was originally known as, so that's the name he wants to go by now.
Humor me, Diz. Does Delric have photos of his family?
Yes, there's a couple out in the wall on the in the dining room. Did you not see them?
Wait, Elizabet, can I roll history to see if I can tell what they look like? If there's any presence of gnomes in there?
If you would like to wander out there and check, yes.
Elizabet is going to look at these and say, where might I find these photos? Is Miss Owlbear his godmother?
Miss Owlbear's been present in a lot of photos. She was very popular with him, especially when Mr. Owlbear was around. And then they kind of grew distant because Miss Owlbear doesn't get out very much anymore. Her husband was more of the traveler.
Don't know. I don't trust that she's been sitting there so quietly the whole time. Great. Yeah.
But she's still unconscious.
Diz, how close are you to Mr. Nightingale?
I'm his apprentice. And he says that with like a lot of pride in his voice. He kind of puffs out his chest.
Darling. Will you do me a favor as Mr. Nightingale's apprentice?
Yes, of course.
Watch him. Do not let him move. I will be right back.
Okay. And he like turns and just like hyper focuses on Delric's body.
Do not touch the copper. Do not touch the salt. Do not touch the body. If you need to touch it, you yell for me first.
Okay, got it. And he gives you like 2 big thumbs up and then goes back to hyper focusing on Delric's body.
Dawn went to the office and grabbed something, and she's going to have Gesture Pathos bend down to her level. If you're not there, then you need to help us. Can you look at something for me? And she cups her hand.
Pathos will kind of looks up at Felix, like waiting to see if it's okay if he moved, because he's already got grappled once and he's not okay with having this happen again.
Felix just nods. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. And Pathos will lean down to Dawn. Yes, Miss Tallfellow?
She opens her hand, kind of like only for him to see.
And what is in your hand?
It is the recording bird.
Pathos jumps up and lets out a shriek of terror and like jerks back so hard in the seat that he actually ends up like falling half onto the table and tumbling backwards onto the bowl.
Can I try to like actually catch him and kind of?
It
Here
is
you walk.
reaction.
Thank you, Roger, for helping me with that.
And with that, I need everybody to roll me initiative.
Nice. Did you see my message I sent you about port and dice?
Oh no.
Wow! Look at us.
Elizabet!
You can do it after the roll is made, but not before knowing the outcome.
Cool. Sounds good to me.
Yep.
Hey, look, I also.
Your dex was higher, so you
Yeah.
you go before me, Felix.
I don't know why my stuff is popping up like it's Roll20 sheet instead of other stuff. That's weird. Oh well.
I thought you were just using Roll20.
No, I'm using D&D Beyond. I don't know why it's popping that way, but whatever.
That's so strange.
I know.
Oh shit! I didn't open up the torn order.
Sorry.
Button.
It
Yeah.
might keep it though. Yeah.
DM, may I have my 21?
Oh yeah, because you get to roll an advantage, don't you? Or did you just roll it twice by accident?
I roll twice by accident. D&D Beyond.
Yeah, you can keep your 21. Please go ahead and re-roll. For all intents and purposes, Kira is also going to be involved in this. Oh, she rolled back.
7. What?
Oh no!
Oh no, guys.
Oh no! Need to turn that off. Alright, that being said, Felix, you are up.
Felix would like to try to intercept him as he's falling over, and would I know? Like, did Dawn say that he was for sure Roger? Basically, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the case, then Felix is gonna try to actually kind of grab him by the collar and kind of pin him down.
Okay. Roll me a grapple.
So it's athletics or unarmed strike.
I
I forget.
believe
Is it
that's
just-
strength athletics.
Okay. It's a 19.
Natural 20. He escapes your grasp.
Ah.
Nice try. And it
Felix
is
would he was just gonna shout, "It's him! Get him!" And then I'll put him on an actual square. So there.
it's his turn, and with that, he is going to raise his hand into the air and snap his fingers once again.
Counterspell. As a reaction.
Okay. And he is going to counter your counter spell.
Wizard duel.
Living
Can
counterspell.
I counter their counterspell, countering their counterspell?
You can.
I'm gonna do that.
2 to
Wonderful.
1.
I got back at the perfect time.
You did.
Counterspell. What level is the... Well, I guess... Am I countering a 3rd level counterspell, I guess, is my question? Because my counter would be against whatever count... Yeah, because if
Actually,
it...
that's
yeah.
a good point, because hers would be the same thing.
Uh-huh. So if she would fail the counterspell, then I wouldn't be countering his counterspell.
Wait, if it's above a level 3, I get to roll for it?
You have to roll, but for the difference in levels. So say for example, they cast a level 7 spell and you did a level 3 counter spell, you have to roll and get a 17, I think, to
Yeah, because it's
counter
10
it.
plus whatever.
And then if he countered your counter spell, it would have to be, I think, the equivalent of a level 7 counter, meaning they would have to meet that same
Direct
DC,
roll.
and then I would have to meet that DC as well.
Okay, so what save do I roll?
Hold on just a second, because I need to check.
Just that way we're all above board
Yeah,
on
we,
counter and stuff here.
we all need to check. So this would be at level 5.
Cool.
Yeah. So if
So
you're casting
10
that at
plus
3rd
5.
level, Dawn, you would need to roll me a what kind of DC is it?
It is 10 plus the spell's level.
But what is
Oh,
it?
it's just it's a D20 plus your modifier. That's how we would roll. So if she's trying
What
to counter
mod?
a 5th level, it's just a D20 plus your spellcasting mod.
Okay.
So whatever that is for Dawn.
So that is D20 plus 16.
There you go.
Nice. So you
And
do
now-
counter it.
And if he wants to counter, he would have to beat that, I think, and then I would have to beat his if he was successful, I think.
Yes. So
Okay. So we'll see. I might not have to burn a 3rd level spell slot. We'll find out.
looks like you do.
Alright, I'm gonna cast a 3rd level counter spell, and I'm going to try and...
DC
Could you
15.
cast it in the higher
Easy.
level though?
I mean, I could, but I'm still gonna have to roll for it anyway, because it's still higher than what I could... I don't have 5th level spells, so I'm still gonna have to do it. So it's just a DC 15, you said?
You can use
Alright.
your fortune dice, right?
Oh, you're right. I could do that, but I'm gonna save them because I don't know how this is gonna go. Plus, I've already seen what the result is, so I don't want to metagame it. So leave it up to dice. It doesn't
Nice.
matter because
Well
I
done.
did it anyway. I have a +5 to my mod, so all I had to do was roll a 10, which cool. Counter spell.
Gotta love counter spell.
I don't even know what spell we just countered to counter to counter. But it
Exactly.
was
But
fun.
I'm not telling you.
That's
I'm-
fair.
I am not telling you. Awesome. So that does end his turn. Elizabeth, you're up.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! 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 I cannot
Are you just
will not
running
use
around
another
alone?
woman. No, she has a method. I'm sorry. I will. Sure. I'll use my only 4th level spell slot and cast Guardian of Fate.
Nice.
Okay, and yeah, I've
Where
only
do
used
you
this once
want him?
before. In front of me and Diz.
All right.
And what I did last game, if it's okay, was describe what it looked like.
Yep. Go for it.
Okay. It looks like a silver dragonborn.
Nice.
And Elizabet will stand there at the ready to defend Delric and look at Diz and go, Diz, don't worry. Leopold and I will protect you. And Delric.
And you want him here?
Yeah.
Okay. That will be Leopold for now. And he has a 10-foot radius that he will attack in. Is that right?
Let me double check. Let me display it in the chat real quick. Yeah.
Yep. Perfect. And I think he is immobile, if I remember correctly.
Not from my grapple. I'm not sure why he would be immobile.
No, the statue.
Okay.
He's
Sorry,
there.
my mistake.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to do on your turn?
That would take up all my action. I don't think I have any bonus actions I could cast.
Okay, perfect. Dawn.
Okay. And I'm debating whether going to cast Lick Wounds at level 4.
Shit.
All right, that hits.
A lot of damage.
Nice, good roll.
And could I cast Spiritual Weapon as a bonus or no?
No, you cannot, because you did inflict wounds.
Okay, then I will do that.
All right. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Perfect. Just so you guys know, who haven't played with me before, I always ask that, even if it's very obvious that it's the end of your turn, because I don't want to be the one to push you out of your turn when you have something to do. So you will always hear that from me. All right. Glynnan, you're up.
Glynnan is going to firstly move over here, then look over at Felix. Hey Felix, you want to go fast?
He'll look up and grin as he's cocking a fist back.
I very quickly reach into my my pocket, which has all of my spell components, and I whip out a shaving of licorice root. I start to use some transmutive symbols in the air, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast haste on Felix. So, I don't know why that's up. Yeah, you have +2 to AC, you get double speed, advantage on deck saves, and you get an extra action that you can do a one weapon attack, a dash, disengage, hide, or use an object. So you're going fast. And then I am going to end my turn.
Nice. Well done. So now it is Kira's turn. Kira's kind of drinking in the situation and seeing everything that's happening. She seems rather perplexed. But she does draw her 2 short swords, and she's actually going to step behind Felix and say, "You really should have picked up on your deck, kid." 12 to hit.
A 12 is going to miss. However, this just got way more interesting.
17 to hit.
17 with my additional armor is not going to hit. No.
Good. She misses twice.
I don't even know what your AC was before, so I'm glad it's higher. That would have really hurt.
I forgot. I ranked up my dexterity, so I forgot my armor class is a little bit higher than it was before already. So this is good. Very quickly now. So he changes direction completely and turns to Kira and roundhouse kicks her, or tries to, with an attack action. and he will do 2 attacks with his attack action, both hoof kicks. And after the first one, he'll kind of jump up in the air, rotate around, and try to swack her with his other leg. So roll 2 attacks for that. And then I will use the flurry of blows. He'll land on 1 hoof, and then he will do 2 more unarmed strikes with his hoof, and a 3rd one with the haste action. So I'll roll 3 more if that's fine.
Yep, go for it.
And then, because I did Flurry of Blows, I would like to remove her reactions as part of my open hand technique. If
You're
one of
gonna-
those hits.
You're going to do what with your open hand technique? I'm sorry.
So, the open hand technique is the option to remove reactions from that target, if I hit.
Oh, perfect. So two of the 5 hit. She blocks the first 2 rather easily, takes the 3rd kick to the gut pretty well, blocks the 4th one, and then the 5th one makes contact also. So she needs to roll a... No, you're just taking away the reaction. Okay.
Yeah.
Until
So-
the end of your next turn. Got it.
Yeah, so he would just kind of machine gun kick all with his legs in those attacks, and you'll kind of drop down into an open defensive stance with both of his fists raised. And he's wearing his monk outfit today, so he's basically looks like a Shaolin monk, except he's a purple tiefling with
Got
legs
it.
of a goat. And that's my turn.
Got it. Well done. It's Pathos' turn. It's like, little one, that really hurt. Says down to Dawn. And he will again try to cast a spell.
And I cast the spell?
Cast what?
Cast spell? Is he trying to snap his fingers again? That's what she's afraid of.
He's trying to cast a spell. Yes. Are you going to counterspell it? Or no?
No.
No. Glynnan, are you going to counterspell it?
No, but let me ask you this before you... I'm not going to ask you what the spell is, obviously. But is it going to be a spell attack roll?
No.
Or is it going to... Okay, cool. Then I won't do what I was going to do. I mean, he can go ahead and cast the spell for now. We'll see what happens. I don't know.
Famous
Okay.
last words.
We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Animate dead.
Oh, snap.
Because no one took the time to investigate the room. If there was anything laying about. A skeleton appears here. Here. Crawls out from under the table here. And crawls out from this end table here. Because he is a necromancer.
Should have seen that coming. Oh well. And I even have the ability to see the future, and I couldn't see it.
You didn't see this one.
Dawn's
Whatever.
gone against a necromancer.
So this one is going to shamble over next to Roger.
Oh, no,
And Roger, no. And it's going to take a swing at Dawn with its short sword. With a
Ooh.
natural 1. Pretty sure it's gonna
There's
miss.
just not enough room between the wall.
There's not. He's like pressed his skeleton body against the wall. It's like, eh!
He's like inching by.
It's just not. It's just not working out well. And then this one's going to walk up behind Elizabet and try to smack her, because these all do go on his bonus action. So just so you guys know why they're not in initiative order. An 8 to hit Elizabet.
How dare you? No.
Oh no.
Doesn't hit.
This
one
is gonna
gonna
get
go
fun very
here
quickly.
and take a hit at Dawn again with a 9. Wow, you
Nope.
guys can't roll shit. And then this one's gonna come over and try to hit Felix. An 11.
That's not gonna hit.
Yep. Elizabeth, this one just kind of came up behind you, tried to hit you. It's so rude.
Elizabet will draw her shield and hold her mace cane in the other hand and go to swing. Actually,
Show me hit. Or not.
would it make more sense to hit Mr. Petos, Logos, Mitos, Ethos?
He is no ethos. He has no ethics.
No, he does not. I love it. I hope people get my references to rhetoric.
Mm-hmm.
I will bonus action spiritual weapon
Nice.
behind Mr. Ethos, Pathos, Logos, Mitos.
You are.
I have my
What is your
weapon out.
spiritual weapon?
Today it's not a yarn and a needle, it is a giant silver blade.
Is that a concentration? I hate to ask.
Spiritual weapon is not.
Haste is, though.
Haste is, yeah.
But that's Glynnan's, I think.
Yeah, that's mine.
I was just worried the silver dragonborn might go poof.
Oh no, it's fine. I have the ability to probably make the save unless I really get jacked up. So, here's hoping that doesn't happen.
I will first roll to try and hit Mr. Ethos, Pathos, Logos, Mitos. Does an 18 hit?
That hits. 9 points
Good.
of force damage. Got it.
How dare you! Mr. Ethos, Pathos, Logos, Mitos! I will now
He
swing at
just
the
looks
skeleton
very
next to me.
confused.
Actually, it did move into my space. It is within 10 feet. Could my spiritual guardian hit it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, it needs to roll, I think it was a dexterity save.
Takes 20 radiant damage on a failed save, or 10 if half successful. The guardian vanishes when it deals 60. Okay, great. So, needs a dexterity saving throw.
It's an
What
agile
is the
little
DC for
skeleton.
your saving throw?
It's a 13, sadly.
But it still takes 10 points of damage, so.
Alright, and then Elizabet will come around and hit it with her mace cane.
Give me Mace Cane hit. That hits.
Nice.
No meat on the bones, guys.
Alright, cool. Elizabet will look over at these. These? Get Miss Abelbet out of here!
Do what? I didn't hear that.
Get Miss... These? Get Miss Abelbet out of here!
Oh, okay. And we'll have him go on Kira's turn, just to save rotation order.
Oh,
Is there anything else you would like
How
to do in your
dare
turn?
you!
Just,
I want to lecture the skeleton. You should do better! Do better! How the context?
all right.
Leopold, can you believe this? This is ridiculous.
All right, Dawn, you've got 2 skeletons taking swings at you. You've got Delric talking to you. You've got Roger in front of you. You got a sword behind them, and then in the corner you hear Elizabeth giving a full-blown lecture to a skeleton. What would you like to do?
Well, fifth level magic missile is faced, but before she does that, she's in a bonus action for sorcery points into a 5th level spell to do so. she's going to do bonus action, sorcery points to spell level, and then 5th level spell level magic missile.
Okay.
All on him.
All on the
Next
all on Roger.
Mr. Itos Patos Locos Mitos.
Okay.
And do I roll that like 6 times?
I mean, you would, but he casts shield.
I knew I should have done the reaction thing on him, but I have to deal with the bounty hunter first.
Shield negates.
The only spell that can block it.
Cast the
Weak
spell
magic
during my
missile.
turn?
Huh?
Could I use counterspell for the shield effect while magic missile is happening? Or
I
no?
don't think so.
I think because neither of them are cantrips, I don't think so.
Well, you can use counterspell's the one weird exception where you can still use it as part of your turn if you're counterspell because it's technically a reaction, so it doesn't count on your turn. But it's your call to make. But I think by rules you can. I think it's just up to your interpretation. However you want to let.
Yeah, I'll just leave it to Mackenzie. But I think it's the opposite.
I think it's the opposite. I think you're only allowed to react when it's not your turn. That's
Well, I think the issue, if I may, is the reaction is part of your turn, and so it still falls under the spell rule, so you can't cast 2 spells.
Well, I do know that you're allowed to even so if I cast a fireball, I can then use my reaction on say the next. So like if I cast it and then I don't know, Kira hit me with a spell, I could then cast counterspell, even though it's 2 spells technically within a round. But I don't want to hold up the game, so rule it however you want to rule it. It's your game after all. So whatever you want to do. So whatever you want. I'm not here to argue. I'm here to have fun.
that's a hard call because what he's doing isn't. Yeah,
Mike,
I would say that you could do that because counterspell is a reaction, and you're reacting to a reaction, and shield's a reaction. So that's kind of how I'm thinking it. So yeah, I would say that you could do that. So go ahead and roll your magic missiles. You do need to roll it multiple times.
Okay.
So however many missiles you get at 5th level.
I like to imagine I just see like tiny finger guns shooting giant missiles like pew 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 pew.
Exactly.
From the 26-inch halfling.
Yeah.
Pew.
No, she
20.
cocks her arm with a finger gun, and she holds it bracing, and then she just...
Perfect.
Okay.
So how many missiles do you get when cast at 5th level?
Okay. Starting at 2nd level, you get 3, and after that, you get 1 more missile for each spell level. So that is 3, 4, 5, 6 missiles. 1d4 plus 1.
What level are you casting it at? 5th?
5th.
You get 7 because if I cast it at 4th, I would get 6.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah.
So
roll 6 more.
6.
It's a lot of d4s.
Right? Math?
25 damage.
So with that, he goes down, and because he is down, all these skeletons are down as well.
Yep. I'm just reading.
However, we are still in initiative order.
Yes.
Oh snap.
As Glynnan, it's your turn.
Well, the things that I want to do, if I do them, I will literally take out too many people. So, because my go-to
It's Fireball.
Fireball.
You're a
No,
wizard.
No, I've never once used Fireball with Glynnan. Let that be known. I have it, and I have it prepped, but I've never used it. But Lightning Bolt hits everything in a 5-foot radius of the line, which is my go-to high-level damage spell. But if I do it, Felix is going to have to go ahead and make a save against the 4th level Lightning Bolt.
I can take it.
Somewhere out there, Steve is going, lightning balls!
All right. Well, if you are 100% sure we can do it, actually, no, I have a better idea. I don't even. I forgot I had this
If
other
it
spell
helps, if it helps, I'm a cleric. I could just healing word him.
Yeah, I'm really good at this.
It's
Yes, he's a monk.
yeah. So rather than do that, I'm gonna do something different because I forgot I had a 4th level attack spell because I have 4th level spells. I forgot about that. We're gonna go ahead and I'm going to look at Kira, and I start weaving some symbols in the air, and I am going to go ahead and cast a 4th level Blight. I'm also going to go ahead and give her an 11 for her Horton dice roll. So she has to make a con save of 16 with 11 as the d20 roll. So whatever her con save is can be added to that. But if she fails, she takes 50 necrotic damage.
Jeez.
You said con?
Con. Yeah, so it's 11, because that's what I'm giving her as part of my portent, plus whatever her con save number is.
Oh, I have the
Which I have no idea what that number for her is. So.
Okay.
It's 11 plus X.
But yeah, she fails, she takes 50 damage. Unless she's a plant.
Photosynthesis. Photosynthesis.
Yeah, so she'll get 11 plus whatever her con save number is.
So 11 plus bonus.
Yeah. So it just replaces the dice roll, it doesn't negate the bonuses. So.
She takes all 50.
Nice. You just see me say some necrotic words, and just, you see this black and green, like, deathly looking energy just kind of seep through her whole entirety of her being. And my eyes went real black for a second there. So, but yeah, that is my turn.
Alrighty.
She
So
probably
now it's
doesn't
her
feel
turn.
good about that.
She does not feel good. She looks really pissed, and then she looks at Felix, and she's going to step around him this way. And being the drow that she is, she's going to cast darkness.
Okay.
And for funsies, we're gonna go. Let's see, 5, 10. You know? I think it's. Yeah. So we're gonna go boom.
Boom. Okay.
And Dawn and Felix, roll me a perception check.
$23.
Felix, you don't hear it, but Dawn does. Let me triple check something real fast. I need the back button to work for me, thank you. So Felix doesn't hear it. He's just covered in darkness. And it hits. Yeah, it hits hard, as you can see. However, Dawn hears it. You hear a door open and shut.
No.
Felix, as we come out of initiative, The darkness drops. Kira is gone.
Can Felix shout something? Because he would probably know that she's the one who casts darkness. So, not necessarily trying to do anything to her, but he would shout, "I'm not worth the bounty, Kira." When the spell goes off, and then that's what he would say.
Very nice. And with that, we are out of initiative. And Dawn still has the stone with Delric's soul inside of it.
He's digging through the corpse to make for the help of Delric.
So roll me an investigation check on the body.
Can I help since there's some type of device that I was told to look for?
Oh yeah.
Alright, investigation.
And Dawn...
Because I have a -1.
Wow.
Hey, look at you both keeping up.
Bam bam.
But bam.
Damn.
High five teamwork.
You can get in those small pockets that I can't quite get into.
Yes.
Get in there.
So in the pocket next to the pocket that had chocolate in it, inside the pocket that had chocolate in it, there is a small, there's a small purple stone, about the size of probably Dawn's palm, while the red gem that's holding Delric's soul, as you guys now know, is almost the size of her, is almost like double the size of her hand. And then there's a smaller one that's purple, and as the space in the red stone moves, the purple in there, the purple gem itself looks like it's trying to move too.
Could I walk toward body and then have the gems do what they need to?
Sure.
Yeah.
So you walk over to the body and you place both the red gem and the purple gem onto Delric's chest, and the purple gem. I'll get to Granny Gnome in just a second. The purple gem starts to glow a vibrant, bright, beautiful color, and the red starts to dim. But the red on the outside dims to a black color, but inside the purple is vibrant, it's bright. And the once red but now black gem cracks open, and the purple floating essence flies out, shoots up towards the ceiling, ricochets off, and starts bouncing around the room, the cannon, before it finds its way back to the purple gem, slams down into it. The purple gem shatters, and Delric's body jerks up in a moment of shock, where he is gasping for breath and he's coughing and just almost flailing about. But Delric is back.
Hello, Mr.
Alright.
Nightingale.
Face and kisses him.
Oh,
Don't you dare scare me like that again.
This is Hi. Glad you could make it. It's kind of hard to say
hello,
that in
Mr.
a
Nightingale.
crystal. Hello, Miss Elizabet. Please don't tell the bard about this.
Tell the bard about what?
Thank you.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't.
No.
Alright, guys. Nice to meet you in the flesh, Delric, and not just a voice in the head.
Yes, Gillian, it's a pleasure to meet you. I've been admiring your work for quite some time. I had invited you here in a chance to hopefully
excuse me.
talk to you, but yes.
Excuse me. Very quick. I know you just woke up. Do you want us to arrest him or let him die? Because I think we can make him.
He is an old childhood friend, so maybe just arresting him would be
Okay.
appropriate.
Dawn, you look a little busy. Elizabeth, can you revive him? I will secure him.
Do you have diamonds?
Yeah, I do. Do you need one?
Did we kill him, or is he just unconscious?
Oh, I think he's dead.
He's unconscious. You guys did not knock
Oh.
him double his health. He actually had a lot of health.
Elizabeth can just yell healing word then.
Oh, that's easier. And cheaper?
After he died.
Asshole!
As soon as he would get woken up, I want to just sock him in the face for non-lethal damage.
He wakes up from 7. He's down to 6. He's down to 1.
Um,
God.
How does that do damage? I don't know how to help. That's why. There.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, you just
Yeah.
knock him out.
Yeah.
Again.
He wakes up to get knocked back out again.
Yeah, just lay him out on the floor. Then kind of,
Is that really necessary? Diz is helping Delric to his feet, and Delric's kind of leaning on him. You know, being a spiritual thingy and a crystal, that wasn't too bad, but it's definitely not my favorite thing.
Itty bitty living space.
Itty bitty living space, yes.
Well, I don't think we've officially been introduced. I've bought something from you before, but you probably don't remember me, but I'm Felix Falconious. Thank you for the invitation. We're happy to be here.
Yes, I'm happy to have all of you here. Excuse me if I'm not so up to par like I traditionally am. It's been a long and weird time in a crystal. I'm pretty sure the cooks are almost done with dinner. Is Miss Albert okay?
I'm pretty sure she slept through the whole thing.
I hope so. And from the distance, you hear, Mrs. Albert wakes up, and Elizabeth, what did you say in Draconic?
I'll whisper it to you if you can speak Draconic.
Mrs. Albert can.
Felix can.
Oh snap!
Oh my god, can you really? Do you find someone who can speak Oh my god!
Felix is a tiefling.
Draconic.
Glynnan can't speak Draconic, right?
Not unless I cast comprehend languages or the spell tongues, which I don't have prepared. So, no, I cannot currently speak it for at least 10 minutes. So.
Oh my god.
But please,
So
sure.
Glynnan just... Okay. Glynnan doesn't know what Elizabet is saying. Oh my god.
He's smart, but he's not too much of a linguist yet.
Okay, so she says aloud, "You remind me so much of him." And she'll lower her veil and then peck your forehead and then put the veil back and adjust her glasses.
And from the chair, from the now awoken Mrs. Albert, you hear, young love. And with that, we will draw the curtain on our one-shot for this evening. Thank you all so much for playing. I hope you had fun. Everyone, happy Thanksgiving, or happy Turkey Day, whatever you guys want to call it. I want you all to know I appreciate you all. I love and care about you all, and my life would not be as much of a joy as it is to have all of you in there. And this is for all the players, for every single person who's in the DDG, anybody who's watching this on the live stream or recording. Just know we all love you, we all care about you, and you are all very special, and thank you for being with us. We all really appreciate it. So everybody, let's say goodbye to YouTube.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.